Welcome everybody to my channel. This is my very first car detailing video. Hopefully it's the first of many. Please forgive me for the terrible camera angles and all that stuff. Hopefully the next one will be much better. So getting into it, this is a Toyota Avalon. It's a daily driver. It's been cleaned and well maintained over the years, and the gentleman that owned it, he said that he was constantly taken to the car wash, constantly vacuuming it out and cleaning it, but he just wanted it professionally detailed and just had that extra touch. There were some stains on the leather seats and some stains on the armrest right here, just kind of nasty and grimy. And so we took it in. So this car I could have turned around in about 2 hours, an inside-outside job. It was not bad. It could have been easily just blown through, but I had a few new tools and new equipment, and so I felt it was the best time to experiment with the new equipment since I had some time to play with. Typically, an inside-outside job is about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, depending on what I'm doing and how big the car is. And so he allowed me to experiment. I asked him if it was fine. I just have a hot water extractor that I bought off Amazon. It was the Little Green Pro Heat, and then I had bought the drill brush and a drill to try out on the carpets. And so shampooing normally wouldn't take me that long, but because I was learning and messing around with setup and all that stuff, that's why it took so long. But as you can see in the video, things aren't too terrible. You can tell that even the mats are relatively clean for something that I'm in Michigan, so usually I see salt stains and just a lot of hardware. Sometimes they don't have rubber mats. I'm really happy when there is. But if there are rubber mats or even carpet mats, there's usually some kind of salt residue, and that usually ends up being a pain. But overall, not too bad. So for a vacuum, I just have the Rigid. It's kind of the standard, and it came with a auto detailing accessory package, which came with an extra orange hose that kind of funneled down. It came with that attachment right there, which I use mostly for anything. It helps get the cracks out. It helps deal with a lot of the really hard to get spots. So I end up using it most of the time. Um, I would say that the cup holders in this little area is probably the messiest out of all the car. There was this white layer of dust on the dashboard, which cleaned up super fast with some all-purpose cleaner and a microfiber. So, uh, so first I start out with the inside. If it's an inside-outside job, I start off with the inside, just a quick vacuum, get all the loose stuff. Anything that's hair or stuff that's caked into the carpet, I might use the drill brush or just a regular hand brush, just brush it out with the vacuum combo, and that seems to work just fine. Just prepping the areas for carpet shampooing with the drill brush and the carpet extractor. I offered this guy a Premier Plus package, so for those of you that might be starting out in the detailing world, it's really helpful to just have packages. It helps explain things. A lot of people, when you ask them, hey, what do you want done in their car? They're like, well, I just want it, vacuumed and wiped down. Well, that's that's a little bit more involved than what they understand. So part of our job as detailers is to explain exactly what detailing means, because that can mean anything to anybody. So it's always good to clarify, to educate, and to kind of walk them through. So every customer that I get, I always, before they even leave, we do a quick walkthrough. I point out all the scratches, anything that might be stained. I let them have an opportunity to point out areas that are important to them or something that they really would like, focus time and energy on. And so that's what it's just a really beneficial way to do. And so here I got a little pump sprayer. It's just easier when you're shampooing or anytime you're doing and you need lots of liquid and lots of product coming out. It was like $6 at Home Depot. The drill, I know most people have the DeWalt cordless drills, and those are fine, but for anyone starting out or who just don't feel like spending that kind of money, I bought that drill Harbor Freight for $11 on sale. And I'm going to run that sucker until it dies, and I could buy technically 9 more and still be, doing just fine. The Little Green Pro Heat, I think I got it on sale at Target for like 120 bucks. So it worked out really well. and it was sucking up a lot. Hopefully this car that I'm doing today, it's going to be much worse in the carpet, so we'll get to see a little bit better shots of nastiness coming out. For the leather seats, I did this for all of them. I didn't have a ton of time to shoot that, but it's just the Lexol leather cleaner and conditioner. I like to use a scouring pad that's non-abrasive and just get the seats super wet, and then you spray on the cleaner, then you wipe it down with the scouring pad. You get great foaming action. That's why I prefer the scouring pads over just a microfiber towel. I feel like I just get a better result. So then I wipe it down with a microfiber towel, and then I just apply the conditioner with either an applicator sponge or with another towel. Here I'm using my steamer, um, my boar's hair brushes. Those are really helpful. They're really cheap on Amazon. They're only like 7 to 12 bucks, and so really easy to pick them up. I would strongly encourage you guys to label them, like just put like a piece of blue tape or black tape, red tape, just so that you know which ones are inside and which ones are outside. I use some on the tires, and you just don't want to get that kind of stuff mixed up. My steamer is the McCullough. That's also a Harbor Freight. Starting out, I just bought everything from Harbor Freight. It was easier, and it's cheaper. And unless I felt there was a need for something a little bit more powerful, then uh, then I'll go back and replace it. But for now, this is great. Um, the drill brush attachment, that was like 14 bucks on Amazon. It's the soft white bristled one. I did just buy the yellow one today because it's Prime Day, and it was super cheap. Um, it works out extremely well. Really, really happy with this process. This second one here in the middle, that was the driver's side, and it had some grass stains that I just simply could not get out. And so I hit it a couple times, hit it with some different products that I had, and it came out fine. Sometimes you're not going to get everything out, and that's just the way it goes. My power washer, again, Harbor Freight. It's a Portland 1750 PSI. It has been tried and true, although the gun broke. It started leaking on the inside. So this is an AR Blue replacement gun that you can buy on Amazon for like 20 bucks. Strongly encourage you guys to get it because it comes with a turbo nozzle. It really cleans up well, really works out well. Um, for the washing, I always do outside. I start with the top, work your way down. I usually finish with the wheels. I don't start with the wheels. Today I forgot my third bucket, so I just had to use the leftovers of washing on the rims, which is, if you don't have a third bucket, that's one way to go about it. And I do the 2 bucket method, so wash, rinse, and just work your way around the car, just panel by panel. And I always do the door jambs while I'm here. The carpets were already kind of wet, but they were drying in the sun. It was super hot this day. You could tell I was sweating, and so it cleaned up really well. Cleaned up real well. Um, He didn't have a lot of bugs, anything like that on the front, so I didn't have to use any tar or bug remover, which was nice. Everything cleaned out really well. Like I said, the guy maintained it. There were a lot of scratches, and so in my Premier Plus package, that's just simply an inside plus a hand wash and a hand wax. I don't do the clay bar. I don't do the extra steps because it's a daily driver. He didn't care. It was just something that got him from A to B. And so taking all those extra steps to get out swirls or to clay bar it, all the decontamination steps, it's not economical for customers like this. Now, if it was a car that wasn't all dinged up and really new, then obviously I would offer that and bring it up. But usually that's not the case, and I don't have to worry about that. So then I'm using some New Finish. It was just some product that I had left over. I've always used New Finish, and so strongly recommend using that. Here I am starting to work on buffing it off. That's one thing I like about New Finish is you can see where you missed and where you haven't. Um, I do plan on switching over to Seal and Shine. Requires hybrid ceramic wax just to see if it makes it easier on my arms and my shoulders. Turned out really well. The guy was really happy. All the stains came out. Steamer did a quick work of anything that was on there. Nothing caked, nothing baked in there. It was pretty clean. The outside looked great apart from the scratches. that appeared to be maybe from like a broom or maybe a snow shovel. I see that sometimes being in Michigan. People have tons of snow on their cars and they just use whatever's around to knock it off, and it usually really dings up the top of the trunk and the sides and the hood. I don't know why, but people do it. So yeah, thanks for watching. I have a tripod, like I said, that's coming in the mail, and I have some really disgusting vans that I'm going to be shooting. So hopefully this is the first of many. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can. And thanks for stopping by.